already setting the balls off, and I haven't put anyone in the chair yet. Wait, let me start this from zero. Connect for Windows, Developers Toolkit browser, and we gotta get Connect Explorer D to D. Okay, so I've just tested some balls out today. I didn't realize the ball that they used the most, which is the middle ball on the string, had gone bad, which explains the lack of activity the last few days. Do I have sound here? Let me check that first. Testing. 1, 2. Okay. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with these. That they've been setting up this ball uh, consistent. And on cue, before I've even got them in the chair, here we are. So let's get them in the chair first, so we'll do things in order. But this is a good display of once Microsoft loses the tracking, uh, uh, it's not displaying anything. Right, so at this point, what I can do is I could just, based on the activity over the course of the today, I can just tell you I don't have to do anything, and they will continue to set that ball off, despite the fact that there is nothing tracking in the chair. Now, that having been said, let's see what happens when I pull up the Jedasoft Ghost app, and let me see what I could see. But at this point, okay, so they just set it off again. There is a lot of activity in that area. All right, so let's do this. Let's just put this up. Okay, so they're going to continue to set that ball off. I don't necessarily feel like messing with this today. Oh, I know. I have to turn that off. Oh, they got it again. Sorry, I got to move the Jedasoft screen. Okay, well, let's see what we can see on the Jedasoft screen. And, okay, well, we saw the activity on the Jedasoft screen, and it coincided with the ball. So the Jedasoft screen on an iPhone 13 is able to track something. See, the figure has to be identified first in Microsoft Connect before it can do the limb tracking. If it's got a phantom limb, then Microsoft may be able to identify it on the screen. I mean, if you could see me on the screen right there, see I'm in gray, right? It is not, if it assigns a color, it's identified it, but it hasn't even identified me as a person yet because the brim of my hat is down, and so it had no ability to uh, see my eyes, and it needs to have two eyes and a mouth to start tracking anything else. Now, uh, I don't know what to, again, I have no idea what, uh, I have no idea what the reason is for the tracking of the mirror. Okay, I could just say that there's always a lot of activity. Okay, well, again, we had activity on the right on Jedasoft, and then it was right after that that triggered the light. So we are getting consistency between Jedasoft and what we're seeing on just the standard camera. Okay, I want to put somebody in the chair first because at the risk of losing the orientation of that ball, I'm going to put somebody in the chair. So by any metric, if I were to be doing testing on these balls, uh, I would not, I wouldn't think that the ball that they're striking and illuminating is one that would pass any test I had, because uh, of all the balls illuminated when I moved the chair just now, except for the ball that they've been striking. Now I think because I put a new person in the chair instead of the person that was lighting up that ball, I'm not going to have the same degree of success, and it will have been a mistake to put him there. But at the same time, I wanted to show the tracking. And so in this instance, once Microsoft has identified the figure, okay, it's able to track seemingly better than the Jedasoft screen. Okay, but it's the initial identification that if it doesn't have that, it's not going to it's not going to track. The fact that it can't track me as a unique heat signature is not really surprising, given that's it's more challenging to find us than it is to find them on a thermal imaging camera, because they're warmer. They're going to be warmer than room temperature, and the outside of our skin is 72 degrees. That's what defines room temperature. So, no, same one. Okay. Well done. All right, now try getting another ball. Yeah, and you're sitting all kinds of weird. Sit up. Sit up. Sit up. Sit up. Yeah, I don't know why you're sitting so weird like that, but whatever. Let's see now the consistency between Jedasoft, Microsoft, and the chair light. I need them to set this off one more time before I can see if there's some kind of correlation between the two. Yeah, I just need one more guy. One more, and then I can move on. This will be a real fast broadcast today. Hell, we're only 15 minutes into this. This is fantastic. As opposed to last week's marathon. That was horrible. Waiting for these idiots to figure out one ball. I've just this week started to try to train them on striking the chair because there's a lip that's right here, right, that goes all the way down. And if you hit that lip, you'll set off a lot of them. Here, I'll give you an example. I'm going to hit it right here. Yeah, see, you hit that lip, and that lights up all of them, right? And I didn't have to hit it that hard to get that going, right? Anyway, that was me, not them. I have seen. No, no, that was them, though. Well done. I was. I didn't see the Jedasoft screen, though. I'm just watching the Jedasoft screen. Okay, so there's activity around the ball, but I feel like I saw the activity around the ball after the ball illuminated. I was watching at that time. There wasn't a lot of time, but any period of time would be something. Yeah, see, now that was the same time. Yeah, okay, so Jedasoft is tracking the strikes. Let's just leave this like it is for now. I'm just watching the Jedasoft screen. so simultaneous. It's weird. It's almost like it's not the guy that's sitting in the chair. But let's see what happens. Let's see what the Microsoft Kinect screen looks like around the ball. The only way I'm really going to be able to test this out is after the recording is done. Then I can go back and look at the timing more closely. And so on the Jedasoft screen, you can always see a flicker on that ball all the way to the right, 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 and that seems to coincide with the activity coming from the right arm of the entity in the chair. Okay, but again, I'll have to look at that on the recording before I could see it. See, that time there. Now, there's always significant activity right after the light goes off on the Jedasoft screen. So it makes me think that it's not whoever's in the chair that's actually illuminating this thing. It's something that's coming into frame, setting it off, and then getting out of frame. Uh, I would say it there's the possibility that it's coming from me, and I say that only because there. Oh no, you see, there's activity off camera on the lower part of the screen. If you see the lower part of the screen, it's red, and what that red indicates is activity, thermal activity off camera. So I can't say that the guy that's on me isn't kicking it, but we see kind of a little activity around the ball all the way to the right, and then as soon as that ball goes off, we see almost a full figure from the head down around the ball that lights up. Now, if they don't set off a different light, it's impossible for me to gauge exactly what's going on. But, all I can do is with a lot of these situations, like they're moving faster than I can capture them move. If they exit out of the room, they usually just poof disappear from the screen. I can only record at 30 frames per second. Not sure what I can do in the Ghost app, but now it looks like they're not going to set it off again. Yeah, I just want you to set it off once more, and then I'm going to move on from this because it's not of any value to keep seeing them set off the same ball. And I need to be able to review the video and so I can't do that while we're doing this. I would need somebody else to pull that off. Uh, I see activity on the ball all the way to the left also. I, I I did something I normally shouldn't, I wouldn't do, which is try to change multiple balls simultaneously. So they're willing to go after the new balls. But if I give them three or four, I have no idea which ones they're really going after. What's the problem here, buddy? Ooh, look at that. Look at that. I gave you gold here. I mean, I hit the chair before. I only tapped it just from up here, and I set off all eight of them. I mean, it's like, no, I'm not moving a thing. It's not, yeah, it's not me, it's you. Anyway, well done. I didn't get to see what the hell was going on the Jedasoft screen because I was running my mouth off. Can you set it off one more time? Well, you just did set it off one more time because that's been going on for more than 10 seconds now. So you just keep hitting the same fucking same ball over and over again. So, yeah, okay, so we're seeing activity, a larger amount of activity on the right ball. Okay. And when the activity stopped within 10 seconds, the ball stopped flashing. So I'm confident that the Jedasoft screen is tracking this well. Uh, I think I forgot to turn the Wi-Fi on the phone again, so I'm not even feeding these guys any energy. Anyway, I'm going to do the mirror testing now. They're still setting this light off. So we can see I'm the purple figure. Okay. We can see you're terrific at setting off the ball. That's great. Okay, now look in the mirror. that's that. So I wasn't paying attention to the Jedasoft screen while I was doing that, but we'll be able to go. Oh, look at that. Did they just set that up? They may have set off the second ball. Or they may just be messing with that first ball over and over again like they still are. Yeah, see, now there's a lot of activity down there at those balls. It appears like, okay, that's been going for more than 10 seconds now, so that is them. Yep, the Jedasoft screen is capturing the activity associated with those balls. The activity stops, they disappear, they show up simultaneously. That was a great example of the Jedasoft screen working. More confident in that sense than I am with Microsoft when when it hasn't identified the figure yet. Anyway, that's it for today. I mean, I want to bolt out of here. It's fantastic that we got this activity done in under 30 minutes. If there's any tests that you want to see me run, uh, afterlife science and technology at gmail.com.